Hello everyone, my name is Masterstarman and welcome back for more Let's Play Kirby Super Star. This is going to be the final episode of this Let's Play here because of the Superstar part of this LP here. There's not too much left to kind of go over here. We are at 97% on our file here. There's only one other mode left to go, but there are still a couple other mini-games I'd like to also point out here. We have Megaton Punch, Samurai Kirby, and the Arena here. Let's kind of go ahead and get things rolling with the two smaller mini-games here. We have Megaton Punch. Hey look, it's Bandana Waddle Dee! Yeah, very much before this guy became a main series of Kirby games, he was Kirby's rival in Megaton Punch. Also, I like how you can see Mario, Luigi, Birdo, and Toad on both sides here, so don't know who the other Mario brothers are here. But yeah. I'm not great at this game, and I'm guessing on the Dream Collection here, there's probably a degree of input lag here because, you know, using a Weir mode and all that sort of fun stuff. Did I just perfect that? Oh my god, I just got a perfect on. Wow, I was not expecting that. That's pretty great. Here I am saying I'm not great because there's input lag and all that stuff, and then that happens. Wow. I won't be going through the other difficulties of that, because there's not much more to that mode. There's also Samurai Kirby, which is pretty much what it is. It's almost the same as the Kirby Quick Draw from Adventure. This one can actually be fun to play online with friends on, like, Switch Online and whatnot. We got pied. Of course, Meta Knight's the last opponent, too. Shoot. Oh, that actually tied? Dang it. Oh, yep, we're worse with the sword than Meta Knight is. Understandable, but yeah, and that's on the easiest difficulty, too, so I think there is a degree of input lag with the Switch Online here, or the Wii Virtual Console of this, and the fact I'm using a wireless Weir mode as well doesn't really help. I know with... I remember one time me and my friend Chad Mallow were playing online on the Switch Online version. I think we ended up getting scores of, like 0-1 and 0-0. I don't know how we basically frame perfected that on an online connection either, but we apparently did. That was pretty fun. But let's talk about the real meat of today's video here, the Arena. The final challenge in his toughest battle yet, the Pink Wonder faces his strongest enemies. This is the boss rush of this game. The boss endurance. Except it's actually good in this game. For one thing, we get access to all of our abilities. For the first time, I actually like the boss rush of this game here. We get access to all the abilities here, besides, like, some of the one-timers like Crash and Cook and Paint. We can still use specific, like, Paint, I know, in the... I guess Crash if you get it from a mid-boss here, but... yeah, otherwise, it is a boss rush of every boss in the game here. I'm trying to do the jet loop here, but not quite working here the way I want it to. And you are timed at the end of it, so it is fun to kind of see how fast you can go through it. There's 19 battles here. All the bosses except Marks are completely randomized here. We get 5 healing items we can use here. I think this is actually a very much manageable boss rush here. I think anybody can do this with enough time and training here. I think it's very much, I think, the best boss rush up to this point in the series, and it would take them a long time to go back to this glory again. It took them until Amazing Mirror to go back to this structure. I think every mainline Kirby game since then has pretty much had something similar. I think it was a little different in Squeak Squad, but I know you at least still got health items in that one, and you could pick the abilities, so it was sort of similar. But yeah. Of course, I'm going to be using Jet Kirby for this, because why wouldn't I? It's my favorite ability after all. I was actually looking through in Super Star Ultra the other night. I was kind of like digging back at my old childhood copy of that again, and I found out, so Super Star Ultra introduces an even harder boss rush in that game called True Arena, because that game introduces new bosses as well. My record in True Arena and my record in Arena are all of like a couple of milliseconds apart. Like, less than a second apart, which is really funny to me. We also just have a round of a couple of the mini-bosses here. I think this is mostly some of the easier mini-bosses here, I believe. Besides Judo Master, this guy can actually be kind of threatening here. Not to jinx it, I'm noticing I have not been hit yet, which is impressive. That is not gonna last. I'm gonna tell you that right now, especially not this fight here. I mean, I'll try it, but I know there is a TAS of... There's lots of TASs of the arena. I used to watch one, like, guy do a bunch of tool assisted speedruns of this back in the day. And, I know they skipped, like, the first 2 pillars there, I guess, just because it was faster that way or something, I guess. Kawasaki here. I think this fight's just Kawasaki, Bonkers, and Bugsy, I believe. Yep. Jet has a stupid amount of invincibility frames when using the Jet Cracker attack. That's the big blast that I sometimes unleash when I'm, like, right in front of, like, that there. Jet gets a lot of iframes when using that, so it's a little vulnerable after the fact, but as you see, it's a pretty big hitbox as well, and it does about the damage of, like, a fully charged plasma shot as well, so it is a very, very powerful ability. It's just a little unorthodox to try and use in a lot of instances, but when you get the hang of it, it is very much a great ability to use, though. Defeated Fatty Whale there. I'm excited, guys. Like, this is... okay, well, might have some difficulty here. I mean, this boss is not hard, but, like... I'm not even gonna bother trying to attack the cannon. It is possible to destroy it, but, like, it can definitely be a little unorthodox. Please finish that. Okay. Pretty easy reactor core fight. Dynablade. Not too bad normally. I wish this was Ultra because, again, I could just, like, one-shot this, but this fight is harder in this version with this ability in particular. Okay, we took care of Dynablade. There's a number of easy bosses we still have left to fight. This is definitely not one of them. This is one of the harder bosses we still have yet to fight. And this is only the hard version of this fight here. You cannot fight, the slime or the doll. Okay. There goes my damage list run, but still, we made very, very good work of, you know, what was that, 9 bosses in a row without any damage there. I've always wanted to do this damage list, but, like, it is definitely tough. And, like, these knives can actually hurt you while you're guarding, so, you know, certain stuff like that is kind of difficult to do. Like stuff like that there, you know, I'd have to be basically learning to dash out of the way of whenever he does that. So I'm not surprised this would have been the fight to mess up with the no damage run, though. This is definitely probably one of the harder fights in the game. And this attack here, too, same thing. You can guard against these things, but they do still do a little bit of damage there, so took care of Red Dragon. All things considered, I'm still very, very healthy for this, but yeah, we got halfway through the bosses there without taking any damage. I'm still very, very much proud of that. Of course, that had to hit me there. Just that freaking finished him off there, but go on. Okay, Dedede. This is a bit of a weird one, because Dedede actually has a lot of invincibility frames. I remember this being one of the more awkward ones in the tasks I used to watch back in the day. He's easy. He's not difficult in any means, but he can be difficult to, in a speedrun sense, just because oh, shoot. Actually took a lot more damage to him than I wanted to there. Twinwoods. I shouldn't need to heal for this. If I die to freaking Twinwoods, I'm gonna be annoyed here. Okay, got rid of Twinwoods there. I'm gonna use my first healing item. I was trying to see how far I could go without healing, but, you know, I think, like, 14 bosses without healing, you know, that's pretty dang good, all things considered. Super Star Ultra actually gives you even more healing items, because in that game, once you use a regular, like, M tomato, you get a regular tomato underneath, so you can still heal a little bit of small damage on that. So yeah. Oh, come on. I had nothing I could do against that. That was dumb. Of course, he didn't have hardly any other hits left on top of that, but... Meta Knight. And you might be thinking to yourself, I'm surprised it's doing this here, not gonna lie. For Meta Knight, you can actually get rid of the sword and do this. You can do this in Revenge of Meta Knight as well, but I didn't bother with it because, you're on such a time crunch in that version that it's probably for the best that you just use the actual, like, sword for that. It'd be weird to fight him with my freaking jetpack of doom here. Oh, shoot. Okay, thank God. I was actually kind of worried I was gonna die there. You may be asking yourself, what other boss fight is left here besides Mark's? This is just funny to me. This is really funny to me. And I'm surprised this is the penultimate one we're getting. This can show up complete random. It's such a good joke boss. It's such a good joke boss. Alright, let's finish this off here. We got Marks again. Unlike later arenas, later games usually try and introduce some sort of, like, super boss at the end of the arena that's, like, the true finale. This game doesn't really do anything like that, but then again, this was only, like, it was one of the earlier Kirby games, though, anyway, and it's the first time they actually made a good boss endurance as well. I want to say Marks has less health here. I feel like I'm damaging him way faster than I did there. I mean, I just did that fight, like, only a few minutes ago at the time I'm recording this, because I'm recording this directly after the Milky Way Wishes fight. Don't know why I decided to try and take that head-on, but okay. I was trying to dash through that, but that's kind of always a risky thing there. Get out of here before you fire another laser here. That's it for the arena, and that's also it for Kirby Super Star as well. Like I said before, this is just an all-around awesome game. It's one of my favorites in the Kirby series. Not my absolute favorite, but it introduced a lot of things I love about it. I don't really have much more to say about that. We also got a sound test for the ending here as well. Doesn't really tell us what the song titles are, but yeah, it's just kind of nice to be able to listen to the music here. And yeah. With all of that being said, next time on Kirby's Dream Collection... we're actually going into some interesting territory here, because we have Kirby's Dream Land 3. More of a follow-up to Dream Land 2 in a lot of ways, but this is a game that I probably out of all these games, like, maybe besides Dream Land 2, I guess, but this is one that I probably have the least experience with, so I'm not sure how this is gonna go. I feel like we might be in for a weird time with this one here, but we'll see how it goes here. Thanks everyone for watching. I've been Masterstarman, and I'll see you guys next time. Have yourselves a great day, and peace out.